Welcome to the Daily Fabric Fondle at Cottonweed's Quilt Shop in Freeport, Maine. Today we're going to see what Michelle is doing.
Good morning. I'm going to show you how to do the hand binding. First I have to get out all of my little treasures out of my bag. My needle case, which we happen to have some.
Is that magnetic?
It is. They are so handy. I've had this one for a long time. It might be time to replace it, seeing as how it's cracked. Binder clips, which we happen to have these as well. I'm going to use these to hold my binding back rather than pinning. It's a lot quicker. I don't poke myself. And then I'm going to thread the needle. I was going to do it beforehand so that you didn't have to watch me struggle, but then I realized that we also have the Hummingbird needle threader. I'll show you how that works as well. First, I'm going to select a needle. I'm going to open the Hummingbird's beak. This is going to protect the little post. You put your needle through so that you just slide it on. And then I need some thread. I'm going to use gray. So let me get a piece of gray thread. Going to make a loop with my thread, put it right over the hummingbird's beak, and there is a little slot, and then I'm going to take the needle and pull it off, and my needle is threaded. And I'm going to cover my and there's my threaded needle. Okay, so now I'm just going to make a knot in the end. I'm going to move a few of these items so I don't knock them off. So I'm going to just fold my binding to the back. I'm going to insert my needle into the backing of my quilt. I'm going to take a little bite out of it, and I'm going to do the same thing to my binding piece. I'm going to pull it back. I always take my knot and just push it down underneath, kind of hold it with my other thumb and give it a little tug just to make sure it's seated down underneath. I'm going to go back to the same spot, take a little bite out of the backing, but this time I'm going to take a little bite out of the front, but I am not going to put it through. I am going to put it in between the fabric. So that needle is in between the fabric.
Like in the binding?
It's in the binding. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to take a bite out of the backing, put my needle into the front. I am not going to push all the way through. I'm going to go into the middle of the binding again. I don't know if you can see. Oh, that's a good shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see you traveled like through the binding.
Correct.
Got it.
And I just keep repeating that process. Trying to keep my stitches even.
What kind of needle are you using? So any needle will do?
I think any needle will do. I have trying to think of what I have in my little needle case. After I've opened them up and put them in my magnetic needle case, I don't have any way to know what I have.
But they're not a tiny needle, anything special, really.
Oh, no, they're
any
not like a
needle.
hand quilting needle, no. Just needs to be sharp. Now, I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to get ready to turn my corner. So, to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn. I'm going to flatten this all the way. I'm going to follow my stitching from the front, make sure it's covered, keep that flat, and make it a 45 on the edge, and I'm going to flip it back the other way. So as you can see, it makes a nice point on the corner, and when you flip it over, nice point on the other side as well. And I'll just clip that to hold it. Put in a couple more binder clips. And then I can go back to stitching. When I get to the edge of my binder clip, I prefer to take them off so it's not in my way. And I just continue. A little bite of fabric in between the binding. Try to make it nice and even. And I try to make it come out even when I get to the corner. So right now, when I come up, I'm going to be very close when I take this binder clip off. I'm right near my corner, and I'm going to put my needle. I'm actually not going to put it in between. I'm actually going to take a bite of the binding where I'm going to turn, and I always do an extra stitch to keep it nice and tight. And then I turn and repeat the process.
So no stitching up into that corner.
No, that's actually open. But it should hold because you've done a nice tight couple of stitches right in the corner.
Nice, like it.
Okay.
And you just do this all the way around.
Go all the way around.
Around
and then
12 corners.
Oh yes, there's at least 12 corners on every quilt. And then as
seems that way.
You don't see your stitches. What you see is just where you've actually taken a little bite out of the fabric. That's all you see. It's called the hidden stitch.
Wow.
And that's all you have to do.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Michelle, on the Daily
You're
Fabric
welcome.
Fondle and showing us how to do the hand part of the binding.
It's very fun.